Hello everyone! So, Hearthstone's Journey to Ungoro expansion card reveal season is hot underway, and in this video I want to take a look at the potential new archetype that the revealed cards are suggesting, which is a swarm hunter, if you will. So this archetype is based around the new hunter legendary quest card, the Marsh Queen, and it will be quite interesting to see whether the Marsh Queen will actually enable you to create this new kind of hunter deck that plays first the quest, completes the quest condition, and then just swarms all over the opponent with a never-ending flood of raptors. I'm not actually sure if we can pull it off, but let's take a look at the quest, the rewards, and then do a little bit of math to figure out whether this is actually feasible. So the quest itself, the Marsh Queen. So it's a quest card, and like all quest cards in Hearthstone, you will be offered that card in your opening mulligan. So you will be guaranteed to be able to play it on turn 1, if you will. And the quest is to play 7 1-cost minions, and the reward is a Queen Carnassa. 7 1-cost minions, that sounds like a pretty tall order. But we'll see if it's possible once we see if the rewards are worthwhile. So, the Queen Carnassa. Queen Carnassa is a 5-mana 8/8, so it's a big body. But that's not all. It also has a battle cry that shuffles 15 raptors into your deck. Now, if these 15 raptors were just Bloodfen raptors, that would not be very interesting, but they're a special kind of raptors. They are the Carnassa's Brood. Carnassa's Brood are 1-mana 3/2s with a battle cry to draw a card. In other words, you will have 15 of these cards in your deck after you play the Queen. Then you start drawing cards, and as long as you keep drawing these raptors, you can play them out for 1 mana, and then you will draw another card. And you can play it out for 1 mana, and you will draw another card, and you will play it out for 1 mana. So that's going to be the swarm. Combine this with, say, a Tundra Rhino, so that all of these have charge, and you're looking at something like 20 points of damage in a single turn. That's quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. Okay, but can you make this happen? Is it really possible to make this happen? When we look at the quest, it says play 7 1-cost minions. So the downside of this is that Hunter has a good way to generate 1-cost token minions, for example with Unleash the Hounds. But unfortunately, none of the Hounds from Unleash are going to count for this quest. Same when you play an Alley Cat, you will get quest credit. You will get 1 quest credit from playing an Alley Cat. You don't get another quest credit from the other one it summons, because only the minions that are played from hand and not the ones that are summoned count. Alright, well that means you're going to have a lot of 1-drops. Well, there are some good 1-drops around. Say, there's the Alley Cat obviously, there's Fiery Bat, there's the Argent Squire. If you go for this zoo kind of style, you probably want to have something to buff up your minions so that you can make value trades, so you can run Abusive Sergeant. And then from the Ungoro set, we have so far it has been revealed the Firefly, which will give you essentially 2 1-cost minions with 1 card draw. So that's probably something you want to run as well. From those cards you then have 10 1-cost minions in your deck. And also another newly revealed hunter card, the tol'vir, which is a 5-mana 3/5 with a battle cry to draw 2 1-cost minions from your deck. So otherwise it's kind of average. Okay, it thins out your deck, but it doesn't really draw you any powerful cards, and there's no chance of ever getting any powerful cards drawn from that. But for the purposes of the quest hunter, the swarm hunter, then tol'vir actually becomes a pretty crucial part of being able to first look for the cards that you need to fulfill the quest condition, and then later on you can draw even more raptors or stuff with that and keep drawing even more cards. So you will want to include 2 of those. So now let's say you have 10 of these 1-drops, you have 2 tol'vir. Then you can still put in some card drawing to your deck. In this kind of a pretty token based deck, you probably want to run Cult Master, You can also run tracking, even though it discards some cards, but it thins out your deck. It gets you closer to finding all those 1-drops. Unless you hit a really unlucky roll and you're offered 3 of them in one go, but that's quite unlikely. And then you would also have the option to run Starving Buzzard, but Starving Buzzard after the nerf really doesn't do that much anymore. It costs so much at 5 mana, you will be able to play it pretty late. It's more of a card draw that you could have after you have already fulfilled the quest completion, rather than something that will enable you to get to that quest completion. And at that point, Cultmaster is actually still pretty good. So I don't think there's a reason to run Starving Buzzard in a deck like this. But then, okay, we have the 10 1-drops, we have 2 tol'vir Wardens. What does math tell us about our probability to complete the quest? So let's say we play the tol'vir Warden on 5, we get 2 1-drops. We want to play Queen Karnasa on the turn that we complete the quest. Queen Karnasa costs 5. If we need to play 2 more 1-drops from the tol'vir Warden on 6, then we're looking at something like turn 7 quest completion. Turn 6 would be ideal, we would play 1-drop and Queen Karnasa on turn 6, but maybe turn 7 looks a little bit more realistic for our target. With this kind of setup, if we go first, we hard mulligan everything for the quest enablers. Let's say we don't find the Cultmaster, we can't find any additional card draw. Then our probability of actually completing the quest by turn 7 is 12%. Yep, that's 12%. What about a couple of turns later? So let's say by turn 10, 43%. Okay, so we have already sacrificed a third of our deck for 1-drops. And we're not going to get the quest done in time. Obviously the decks that are running big minions, they're going to be punching you really hard by turn 10. You really want to get the quest out before that. Or at latest around that time. After that you're just going to crumble. So, ouch. Okay, let's say we put in 4 more cards. So we have 14 1-drops. I don't even know what these are going to be. I expect there to be some 1-drops that are going to be released still for Hunter. So I think we're going to get something that we can actually play in the deck. Let's say we put in 14 and then we put in the tol'vir Warden. So now we have 16 cards that help us enable the quest. With this kind of setup, now we have 46% chance to get it out by turn 7. And we have 87% to get it out by turn 10. And that's without additional card draw, so that's if we can't find a Cultmaster to draw some more cards. So that kind of level of 1-drops starts to look pretty safe. We can actually fulfill our quest condition quite often. But now we're sacrificing half of our deck to do it. I'm not sure about this. This looks pretty rough. It's possibly doable, but pretty rough. Of course, we could also put in nothing but 1-drops. We get the quest done early, every single time. But after that, we would be completely out of luck. Because then half of our deck will be Raptors, half of our deck will be almost uninfluential 1-drops. We either draw a bunch of Raptors and get lucky. It's around 50% chance to draw a Raptor each turn. Actually, even less than that. So we cannot really swarm the board. So going for all 1-drops doesn't seem feasible plan. Going for around 10 doesn't give the good odds you need. You need to put in something like 12, 14 1-drops and the tol'vir Wardens. And then you might be able to get to the quest reliably enough. Can you build a deck that's good enough when you go with these conditions? It's going to be hard. But maybe it's possible. There's also one other route you might take with the quest, which would be to build a control hunter. So you could run Firefly, you might run Mistress of Mixtures, you might run, say, Youthful Brewmaster, so that you can cycle those, return those Fireflies back into your hand play them again. You get to play 4 times with that. So you run with tol'vir Wardens. The only one drop you're going to run is the Firefly. No, probably Firefly and something else. And then the Youthful Brewmaster. But now you come across another problem. Control Hunter. Well, some people have tried to play stuff like Reno Hunter. Reno Hunter can actually sometimes even win games, because that Reno can swing. But otherwise, Control Hunter, the Hunter hero power doesn't support Control Hunter. Finley is rotating out, we can't even switch our hero power anymore. The Hunter card draw ability does not support Control Hunter. The card hand draw ability is abysmal. You just cannot cycle through your deck. So unless you plan to survive until fatigue in order to play the quest, then it will be pretty difficult to do that with a Control Hunter deck. And surviving until fatigue when you have no healing. There's no Reno anymore, even. So it just looks really difficult to build a Control Hunter deck around this to benefit from the quest. And going all 1-drops also looks extremely weak. So what you're probably looking at is sacrificing around half of your decks for 1-drops. Try to have some powerful cards. I mean, stuff like Houndmaster is great. You're playing almost like Zoo. So you want to be able to buff up these minions. You want to be able to make value trades with your minions. That kind of stuff. Houndmaster, for example, is a great fit for this kind of a deck. That seems like the deck that's most likely to be able to utilize the quest. But overall, it's going to be hard. It will take a lot of tweaking to find a deck that can reliably pull off the quest, survive in good shape until then, and then be able to utilize the quest properly in order to win the game. It is some kind of a mid-range hunter deck. Probably not even a Secret Hunter, because Secret Hunter tends to empty his hand quite often when you play the Cloaked Hunter and then you slam all your secrets. So it looks a little bit difficult to fit in both the Secret Hunter archetype and the quest together. So you're more like looking into a Zoo-ish mid-range hunter deck, which, if it works, would actually be a lot of fun to play. So I'm looking forward to be able to try that out and see whether that kind of a deck would be feasible. It would be really interesting. So that's my first thoughts on Swarm Hunter, potential new archetype in Hearthstone's Journey to Un'Goro. In a few weeks, we'll see if we can build that. Will be interesting. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.